Welcome everyone to the council meeting. I'm just going to add as a reminder that the public are here to observe and only Bassetlaw District Council members and officers
Sorry,
can speak.
speak up.
Do you want me to repeat that?
Yeah, repeat it
Yeah.
if you weren't.
Can you hear me?
No.
Sorry about that.
Up to.
My wife said it. Is that any better?
Just a shout.
I'll shout. If you can't hear me, stick your hand up. Reminder that public are here to observe and only Bassetlaw District Council members and officers can speak at this meeting. Thank you.
May I ask that all mobile phones are switched to silent? There is no planned test of the fire alarm system during this meeting, so if the alarm sounds, please exit the building quickly and safely by the main route. If this route is blocked, please use the fire exits in this room. Do not use the lifts. Once outside the building, please assemble in the market square. Do not enter the building until the committee clerk has given authorisation. May I also draw your attention to the notice in this room regarding recording and the use of social media. The council permits audio and or visual recording and photography at council meetings. Proceedings of this meeting may also be reported via social media. If a member of the public or press wishes to do so, could they please indicate now?
Have any members got any objections to the recording?
We can't hear you.
That was a joke.
Has any members got any objections to the recording? That sounds good. No? Thank you. Can I ask members to please join me for a minute's silence? Former councillor Barry Bowles has sadly passed away recently. Barry was first elected in 2003 to Worksop's North East Ward until 2007. He was elected in 2011 to 2019 for the Blythe Ward. During his time as councillor, Barry sat on several committees, including Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Licensing Committee and Planning Committee. Will you please stand and join me for a minute's silence? Thank you.
any member wishes to raise a point of order, can you please stand and clearly state order so we can distinguish them from a member who has raised their hand to indicate they wish to speak in the debate. You will need to state the relevant rule which you take issue with and set out your point clearly. As chair, I may ask for your opinion ask for the opinion of the monitoring officer before making a decision on how to proceed.
Agenda item number 1 is apologies. Are there any apologies?
We have apologies from Councillor O'Callaghan, Rhodes, Turner, Entwistle and Dixon. And with this chair's discretion, I'd like to read a personal statement from Councillor Dixon. Dear colleagues, it has been brought to my attention that I've been targeted in a post on a Facebook page in which it suggests I have shown contempt for local democracy. To set the record straight, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in April of this year for the second time. I had the operation to remove the lump in June and we will start radiotherapy very soon. I continue to go to hospital appointments accompanied by my husband and daughter. I've been told to shield myself as I will have more treatment to come. So I'm attending smaller meetings like health and safety and licensing, but avoiding full council meetings where there are lots of people in attendance. It's been a very stressful time for me, and as you can imagine, this has only added to that stress. But putting politics aside, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave here tonight, please check yourself because breast cancer affects all humans and cancer rates have gone up from 1 in 4 to 1 in 2 in the last 25 years of my first operation. Councillor Dixon.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 is to receive declarations of interest by members and officers. Are there any declarations of interest by members?
Chair, I think my microphone's working, so I'll speak as loud as I can. I've been given some declarations of interest by members, and I've got Councillor Adams, who's declaring an interest in the motion in relation to the Renters Reform Bill. That's a non-pecuniary interest. I've got Councillor Pidwell, who's the same, declaring an interest.
Go ahead.
Declaring a non-pecuniary interest in the same motion. Councillor Shaw is a non-pecuniary interest. I've got Councillor Carroll, who is a member of the Royal British Legion, a non-pecuniary interest. Same for Councillor Eaton. Councillor Lee, non-pecuniary interest by virtue of landlord. Councillor Carrington-Wild, member and fundraiser for the Royal British Legion. And Councillor Fielding is a member of the Royal British Legion Poppy Appeal Organiser, non-pecuniary interest. I also advise any members who are assured short-hold tenants or council tenants, I would advise you to consider declaring a non-pecuniary interest in the Renters Reform Bill. If you want to declare the interest now and complete the paperwork with me at the end of the meeting, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say I am a member of the British Legion. Thank you.
I'm just checking whether we have dispensation to vote on item 12.
Yes, Chair, it's granted at the last full council meeting in May when the first independent remuneration panel report was brought to make the changes to the allocation of members' allowances, and I can confirm that dispensation does apply to this meeting also.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest by officers? Agenda item number 3 is minutes of the meetings held on the 19th of June, 25th of June and 31st of July. Are there any comments or observations?
Thank you, Chair. Can someone clarify why the Labour motion from the previous meeting in June praising Councillor White for her hard work on the London to Sheffield train line is nowhere to be seen on tonight's agenda.
Point taken. I was absent. It fell. The motion was in my name. I didn't attend the council meeting, so the motion was not taken.
Any other comments on that? Are there any more comments or observations? All in favour? Sorry.
The minutes clearly state the motion will therefore be considered at a future meeting. That was what we were told, it's in the Constitution, that if a member doesn't attend, it will be considered at the next available meeting, unless it's been pulled. Actually, we know whether Labour have pulled the motion, or whether it's just not been put on the agenda.
Councillor McFarlane, there's only one motion per political party, so it is within the gift of each political party to put forward a motion for that meeting, and the motion has been replaced for this meeting with the motion that appears in the papers.
Are there any more comments or observations? All in favour? Against? Abstentions? Agenda item number 4 is previous motions, action and implementation. These are provided for noting. Agenda item number 5 is communications. To receive such communications as the chair leader and the chief executive desire to lay before the council. The chair's communications, there is none. Chief executives?
I have no communications, Chair.
I would now like to hand over to the leader to update members on developments. Councillor Reid, speak.
Thank you, Chair. Is my microphone working?
No.
How about this? I'll shout. So, since the last council meeting, can you hear me? How about if I do this? No?
Just bear with me.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Right, since the last council meeting, we have been successful in securing a share of £3 million from the East Midlands Combined Authority Merrill's Community Development Fund. The fund aims to tackle deprivation and improve lives, with Worksop South East selected as one of the 10 priority areas across the whole of the East Midlands. Local community groups are being invited to apply for funding that aims to build stronger communities, boost local skills and help people take charge of shaping their own neighbourhoods. In the past week, we have also welcomed more proposed investment from the district. EDF has announced it is teaming up with international partners to develop a data centre campus at the former Cotton Power Station. The £11 billion redevelopment is expected to create thousands of jobs, from manufacturing through to construction. There will be a consultation with residents about this. Many members and residents will recall when we were a centre of energy production. Whilst those days have gone, members will have heard about our Megawatt Valley ambitions. We are actively working with a number of partners to attract further inward investment, providing yet more opportunities for the district. A lot of this is long term, but we can't just think about the next 2 years. We need to think into the future for our children and our grandchildren. Some of the inward investment will be providing energy, in some and also some developing technologies and other areas of modern life. I recently had the opportunity to visit the construction site at Newgate Street Health and Wellbeing Hub to take part in a steel signing ceremony. It symbolised the strong collaboration between the partners involved in bringing about this development. The former vacant site, which was owned by the council, is being transformed by Tilbury Douglas and will be leased to the NHS on completion and operated by the Newgate Medical Group. A great deal of work has been invested in this project to date, and I'm looking forward to watching this as the development continues to take shape over the coming months. We continue to support our high streets and have been forging ahead with our high street rental auction scheme. As most of you will know, we were successful in being made early adopters of the scheme by government in December 24, so we were one of 4 in the country who achieved this. It aims to see long-term vacant shops rented out to new tenants. We've approved the designated areas in Worksop, Retford and Harworth, while this will be applied as we look to revitalise and regenerate our town centres. I understand how important it is for people to feel safe in our town centres, and we have renewed our public space protection orders in Worksop and in Retford. These orders target things such as drinking alcohol on the street or causing nuisance, harassment, alarm and distress. The police and Safer Streets wardens have greater powers to address these issues if they are covered by a public space protection order. Away from our towns, we continue to support rural community groups and businesses through our Rural England Prosperity Fund. £214,000 is being distributed between 16 projects aiming to improve facilities for residents in rural parts of the district, as well as offering small businesses the chance to grow and expand. It includes plans for, amongst other things, a new sculpture, bespoke 3D computer systems, through to developing a multi-use farm shop. And I look forward to seeing these projects come into fruition over the coming year. Our planning team recently won 2 prestigious awards, and this was no mean feat because we were against very stiff competition. We proudly collected these awards from the East Midlands Royal Town Planning Institute. The first was for our local plans, creativity, ambition, and going above and beyond good practice to deliver positive outcomes for communities. And we also won Planning Authority of the Year. This is testament to the hard work, innovation and dedication of our planning team and our partners who are consistently striving to deliver high quality, sustainable developments which benefit our communities. We continue with our preparations for the introduction of simpler recycling in March 26. This includes curbside glass collections, with residents receiving a new 180-litre bin over the coming months. To support this, a new app is also being introduced later this year, which will provide key information on things like collection days, live updates, and much more. This will help to meet government legislation to standardise recycling across the country. Finally, I would like to thank those of you who took part in a recent survey looking at the future of local government in Nottingham and Nottinghamshire. Across our county, over 10,000 people have shared their views on what matters most to make sure that future changes reflect the needs and priorities of our communities. These views will feed into the development of final proposals, which we will submit to government by the 28th of November 2025. In the meantime, I continue to work alongside the leaders of the other 8 councils to make sure that we deliver the best way forward for our residents and businesses, as well as those across the county. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Agenda item. Let's see if we can you hear me? No? Can you hear me? No. Can you hear me? Okay. I will now raise my voice, so I apologise.
Sorry, we're just going to get some more microphones.
You're gonna-
Yeah.
You got some?
Yeah, I'm just changing mine, Chair. This one here, Chair.
Can we have a 10-minute break, please?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me at the back?
Okay. Can everybody hear me now? Thank you. We'll carry on. Agenda item number 6 is questions from members of the public. There are 2 questions. Mr. Fellows, would you like to ask your first question, please?
You're going to bring your microphone.
I can shout, I'm more than happy to do that. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much for considering these questions. It's often felt in the community that whatever we ask, whatever we do, it's not listened to. And I know Joe White and Fraser, there's been a lot of help for the Denby Avenue people, and I'd like to say for both wives and all people interested in that. Thank you very much, it's appreciated. We do feel as though we've been listened to. So my first question, how many migrants are officially listed in HMOs within the Bassetlaw constituency?
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Right. First of all, can I just say, please be aware that we always wish to respond to any questions from members of the public, and it's really great that you've asked these questions tonight. Thank you. So, in response to your question, Environmental Health has confirmed that we currently have 15 licensed HMOs for Serco. They do have a number of non-licensed properties for Serco that they don't need to identify to us. These 15 licensed HMOs have space for 78 persons in total. None of these properties were licensed HMOs before Serco took them on. So in relation to your next question, from the information available to the council, there is nothing to suggest that anyone was evicted from existing HMOs to house persons seeking asylum. Housing officers have inquired to Serco. There are currently 170 asylum seekers in Bassetlaw. However, we are not able to confirm from our records exactly how many of these people are in HMOs, as not all HMOs need to be licensed under the mandatory licensing scheme, which only covers HMOs with 5 or more people from 2 or more households.
Thank you very much, appreciate that. The second question is, how many Section 21 or no-fault evictions have been issued in order to remove tenants in order to change the house status to a HMO and house migrants.
So with regards to section 21 for HMOs to house migrants, the answer is none. Furthermore, following contact directly with Serco on this matter, they have told us that they do not accept landlords willing to evict tenants.
The next question, Mr. Wildman, will you please read out questions on behalf of Mr. Howarth, who is unable to attend the meeting? Can you please read the question?
Thank you, Chair. First question from Mr. Howarth. Are there now, or are there plans for any HMOs in the town of Haworth and Berkhouse?
Thank you. There is only one licensed HMO in Haworth and Berkhouse, and it is under Serco. Our environmental health housing team are not aware of any others in the pipeline or any non-licensable HMOs planned, although owners don't have to register those with environmental health.
And the second part of the question is, who will be paying the rent and bills for these HMOs?
Thank you. Bassetlaw District Council are not party to this information, and the question would need to be addressed directly to either Serco or the Home Office.
Thank you. Agenda item number 7 is questions from members. There are 2 questions. Councillor McFarlane, would you like to ask your question, please?
Thank you. Has Bassetlaw District Council in any way received money or financial benefit connected to Serco's use of HMOs in Bassetlaw?
Thank you. So, I'm responding on behalf of Councillor Rose, who isn't available tonight. So, whilst Bassetlaw District Council does not receive payments specific to Serco's use of HMOs in the district, as with all local authorities, it receives payments from the Asylum Seeker Dispersal Scheme for the net growth of occupied properties. There are strict limits to how this money can be used. For example, it can't be used to support general council services, and in our case, it is used to cover private sector bonds and rent in advance for refugees who have been granted leave to remain, and to fund the Refugee Council who provide support for resettlement to the Afghan family who previously served in support of the British Armed Forces.
Councillor McFarlane, do you have a supplementary question?
Thank you. Does Councillor Slater agree with me that it's wrong that this Labour government are putting local authorities on the front line in addressing this migrant crisis, when the real answer to this is to leave the ECHR, scrap the Human Rights Act and detain and deport those who arrived here illegally?
I will politely disagree with Councillor McFarlane on that. Thank you.
The next question is from Councillor Carroll. Councillor Carroll, would you like to ask your question, please?
One more for this one. Go on, Craig.
Thank you, Chair. Will the Cabinet Member for Neighbourhoods please detail the successes of the climate change team? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Carroll, for your question. Climate change is acknowledged as one of the most pressing issues facing the planet, and we all need to do what we can to reduce carbon emissions. Bassetlaw is certainly playing its part. I'm grateful for the opportunity to acknowledge the hard work and achievements of the climate change team, a small dedicated team of officers under the stewardship of Robert Craighead has accessed £1.9 million of funding. This amounts to 34% of all Nottingshire's delivery and is more than all Derbyshire's delivery combined. It's been a monumental project for the Council, directly striving to support the Vision 24 for the district to become a healthier and greener place to live and work. Broadly, the areas covered have included improvements to Bassetlaw District Council's buildings and fleet, improvement for homes throughout the district, leisure centre decarbonisation, help for small and medium enterprise to improve their facilities and reduce their costs. I'll give you some examples of the benefit the team have brought. At 17B, that's in Retford, replaced end-of-life boilers and heating systems with an air source heat pump and installed a number of supportive works, including secondary glazing, LED lighting, and mechanical ventilation with heat recovery. We expect these works to reduce the building's carbon footprint by over 60% and save the council upwards of £25,000 per year. Neighbourhood Service completed a number of projects. The garage building at the depot has a new air handling management system, advanced insulation placed in the roof, which reduces energy costs and creates a much improved working environment. The parts department has begun to replace traditional two-stroke engines with rechargeable electric tools, now using peat-free compost and reducing the use of herbicides. We're increasing the number of small electric vans being used by different services areas throughout the council. And we have 2 rechargeable electric tractors. The climate change team's work on leisure centres included an award of £3.6 million funding to decarbonise the Retford and Worksop leisure centres, which is expected to save in excess of £80,000 per year. For the Burcott's Leisure Centre, the team secured funding from Sports England, which enabled installation of solar panels, batteries to store electricity, multi-speed pumps for the pool. These improved systems and controls enable more efficient running of the pools, whilst also reducing costs. We're looking to, in the next 12 months, improve the heating and air handling systems in leisure centres. We will be introducing a pool water treatment system that uses ultraviolet light to disinfect the water and reduce our reliance on environmentally unfriendly chemicals. Beyond the BDC estate, through the Homes Upgrade Grant, Hub 2 scheme, the team has supported 117 private homes with the installation of energy efficiency measures such as the replacement of oil and coal heating systems with air source heat pumps and solar panels, loft insulation and wall installation, helping those households reduce their energy bills and be more comfortable for them to live in. For businesses and small, medium-sized enterprises have benefited from £325,000 investment in energy efficient measures. A further 11 businesses are being supported this financial year. This work continues. As you can see, Councillor Carroll, Bassetlaw is not only doing its bit to protect us from climate change, but this is good news for local businesses, good news for residents and council taxpayers, good news for leisure centre users, and most importantly of all, good news for the planet. Thank you, Councillor Carroll. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Carroll, do you have a supplementary question?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Agenda item number 8 is motions. There are 2 motions. I call upon Councillor McFarland to read the first motion.
Thank you. It is an honour to propose this motion, one that goes to the heart of who we are as a community, as a district, and indeed as a nation. Bassetlaw is proud to be home to 4,924 veterans, the third highest number in Nottinghamshire. This is almost 5.1% of our adult population. These are not just statistics, these are men and women who have worn the uniform of our country, who have answered the call of duty, and have carried the weight of sacrifice so that the rest of us may live in peace and freedom. We owe them not only our gratitude but also our action. And yet too many veterans and their families are facing injustice. Across the country, 150,000 veterans receive military compensation. But when it comes to means-tested benefits, that compensation awarded because of injury, illness or sacrifice is too often treated as income. That treatment means veterans are denied the very support they need to live with dignity. It means they face disadvantages that no veteran should face. Let me be clear, military compensation is not a handout. It is recognition of service and sacrifice. To treat it as income as if it were just another wage packet is to misunderstand its very purpose. And worse, it risks breaking the promise we made through the Armed Forces Covenant that no one who has served this country should face disadvantage because of that service. Here in Bassetlaw, we have a proud history of standing shoulder to shoulder with our armed forces. From those who have served in the world wars, through Korea, the Falklands, Iraq, Afghanistan, and countless peacekeeping missions, our veterans have carried Bassetlaw's names into service of Queen, King and Country. They deserve nothing less than fairness and respect in return. I want to take this moment also to praise the RBL, who over a century have stood unwaveringly beside our veterans and their families. Their Credit Their Service campaign is about nothing more and nothing less than justice, ensuring military compensation is no longer treated as income when assessing means-tested benefits. I am proud that this council tonight has the opportunity to back them to show that Bassetlaw will not stand by while those who stood are left behind. By supporting this motion, we will do 3 things. We will express our formal support for the campaign. We will commit to examine our own local policies to make sure we do everything within our gift to put this right, and we will send a clear message to the government, change the regulations nationally, and end this unfair postcode lottery. Colleagues, we cannot repay the full debt we owe our veterans, but we can and we must ensure they are treated fairly, and to do otherwise would be a failure towards them. So tonight I ask you to unite behind this motion, not for politics, not for show, but for principles, for justice, and above all, for those who serve. Let us give our veterans in Bassetlaw and across the country the fairness they have earned, the dignity they deserve, and the recognition of a grateful nation. I recommend this motion to the Council.
The motion doesn't have to be read out according to the council procedure rules. It does appear in the papers.
I call upon Councillor Linda to second the motion.
Members, that proposer of a motion can speak for 5 minutes, but they also have a right to reply before the motion is voted upon.
Chair, fellow councillors, I'm going to address a key issue affecting our military veterans and their families. These are men and women who have served their country with courage and often a great personal sacrifice. Many of them carry with them the long-lasting impacts of the service, whether physical, mental or both. There are specific financial schemes and pensions that veterans receive, such as the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme and war pensions. These are not ordinary income or benefits. They are recognition by our nation of the debt we owe to those who have put themselves in harm's way for our safety and security. It is therefore deeply important that when this council considers financial assistance, whether for council tax support, housing costs or other vital services, we do not treat veterans' financial assistance as a standard income to be offset against their eligibility. To do so would be to dilute the very recognition and support that veterans have been promised. Other councils across the country have already adopted policies and ensuring that military compensation and veterans' pensions are disregarded in means tests and for local support schemes. I believe that Bassetlaw should stand proudly alongside them. I'm asking this council to review its policies and to adapt a clear commitment that veterans in our district will not be penalised for the financial assistance they receive. Because of their service instead, we should ensure they receive fair access to the support they need without being disadvantaged compared to others. This is more than just a policy, it's about respect, gratitude and fairness. Our veterans stood up for us and it's only right we now stand up for them. And I'd also like to personally thank any veterans for their service for myself. Thank you. And I've seconded that.
Are there any comments or observations? Councillor Lee?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'd like to make an amendment to the motion. Before I do that, can I just say to every single veteran or family of a veteran or a serving person in this room that Bassetlaw District Council do almost all of these things already. And Councillor McFarlane, you previously said that you'd like to work across party lines, and I'm really disappointed that yet again you failed to do so. This is Bassetlaw District Council. This is not I want to be the next MP. This is what we should be doing for what's best for the people of Bassetlaw. And our veterans have fought for us. Some of them have died for us. Some of the people who are fighting for us now are risking their lives. And this should not be something to use as party political fodder. Had you spoken to the Council's Armed Forces Champion or any of the officers in our Covenant team, you would have been informed of the actual situation and what this Council is doing. This would have avoided the need to amend your motion, but we do need to make sure that it is factually correct. I will not play party politics in such an important issue as supporting our armed forces and our veterans. Chair, I have provided a printed copy of the motion for all members. I'm happy to read out the amended motion.
There's no need to if you've got a copy.
That's fine, the copy goes out. And Chair, I would like to reserve my right to speak on behalf of all the veterans in Bassetlaw. And I would like my speech to be minuted. Thank you, Chair.
taking a request from the Farm Party for a short recess to allow them to consider the amendment.
Can we have that 5 minutes recess just to read the amendment? Thank you. Thank you. Is there a seconder for the amendment?
I second the amended motion and I reserve my right to speak.
Thank you.
I can confirm it is a valid amendment.
Are there any comments or observations?
To try and say Craig walking the full length of the room, can everybody hear me on this mic?
Yes.
You've got it. Sorry, I've got the one. Thank you, Chair. I am left wondering if Councillor McFarlane did his homework before writing this motion. In it, he asks that the BBC recognises the Armed Forces Covenant. But if he did research this, he would have discovered that BBC marked its support for the local services community by adopting an Armed Forces Community Covenant in 2013. Moreover, he appears not to know about the Defence Employer Recognition Scheme, which is primarily to recognise employers that pledge, demonstrate or advocate support for the Armed Forces community and that align their values with, you guessed it, the Armed Forces Covenant. Colleagues, this council has been given a gold award under this scheme. Actions speak louder than words, and this council continues to show its support for the Armed Forces community with events organised to remember the 80th anniversaries of D-Day, VE and VJ Day, and of course Remembrance Sunday. And Chair, it costs £2,675 for the road closure to allow the parade in Worksop to take place. So could I ask the Reform councillors to lobby their county council counterparts to waive this fee for the road closure? Not just in Worksop, across the county where remembrance events are held. Is this not the patriotic thing to do? Councillor McFarlane talks about military compensation being treated as income. None of the compensation schemes, like the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme, Armed Forces Independence Payments, war pensions, war widows or widowers' pensions or guaranteed income payments, are considered when calculating universal credit. There is work to do in other areas and the system is not perfect. But even when calculating other benefits, there is a discount in place. In fact, if you are in receipt of either AFIP or GIP, you are exempt from the benefits cap. And this can also allow the recipient to qualify for an additional disability amount. Chair, I'm sorry to say that I am unsure as to Councillor McFarlane's motives for this motion tonight. And I fear it's motivated more by political opportunism than by a deep-seated conviction. RBL launched the Credit Their Service campaign back in July 2023, so I was wondering why he hadn't picked it up before now. So when I did some research, I was surprised to find that the website, They Work For You, identified that its former boss voted against strengthening the Armed Forces Covenant 10 times. Colleagues, I finish there and I'll let you make your mind.
One more minute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Foss, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm proud to be sat here tonight because I've had to rush from hospital because my husband's very ill. And I'm proud because I wanted to come here and say what I've got to say. It's hard because I'm not in a good place, but there's a lot of people in this room, a lot of councillors that sit for selling poppies for the RBL, and the RBL themselves they turn up as well, ex-servicemen. My husband, yeah, is a veteran, and I've lived in married quarters all over Germany, Berlin, the lot. And I don't know how to, it's an embarrassment what I've sat and listened here tonight. A very big embarrassment, because you know I went to Phoenix House with you. You took me, Tony, in a van, and well, in a bus, a minibus, and we saw Phoenix House being built for these wounded soldiers that had been, you know, in different countries fighting for us. And yes, I mean, I have got a big family of veterans that have been in forces. My in-laws, my brother, you know, quite a few. And I'm really, really embarrassed tonight at what's been said, because Sybil Fielding and Ray Fielding, they've worked their socks off like you have, Tony.
Correct.
For owners. And I'm real proud to be a councillor alongside you people. Very proud. Thank you.
Well said, Jonathan.
Councillor Shaw.
Thank you, Chair. Bassetlaw District Council have a proud history of the support of our armed forces and veterans. We have, throughout my time as a district councillor, moved to further respond to the needs of veterans and to proudly remember their commitment to provide safe lives and to their sacrifice. We have worked to ensure that we provide a covenant setting out the principles that no member of the armed forces should be disadvantaged, and that there is indeed a time and place for special treatment for those who work to safeguard us. We demonstrate our commitment as a forces-friendly organisation, striving to assist both service personnel and their spouse partner. We seek to support our employees to be successful as reservists. We closely work with cadet courses and support employees to be cadet instructors. And we play a central role in remembering those who paid the ultimate price. Finally, within our choice-based letting policy, we support veterans, spouses and close family connections. We support the transition, giving consideration to those making an application within making an application within 5 years of discharge, those bereaved spouses and civil partners, and those reservists injured or disabled. I have on a number of occasions provided support to those who have served our country to navigate and meet their needs. We understand on many levels members of the armed forces are those people who leave our communities to serve. They are the people following a career of safeguarding who choose our communities to live, to heal in many ways. We never forget them, and to this end, we will stand with them and continue to assist them to be and remain strong. For that reason, I have shared, and to ensure our veterans are fully aware of our continued support, I will be supporting the amendment and the motion.
Councillor McFarlane.
Thank you. I'd first like to raise the point about the road closure fees from the County Council. I raised this on a number of occasions with the previous Conservative County Council, only for them to be rejected, so I have done that, thank you. In terms of the position this council's in at the moment, those in receipt of SIPs and SAPs, the council does not provide any discretion against council tax support, housing benefit, discretionary housing payments, or disabled facilities grants. For those receiving the War Pension Scheme, it does not discount those receiving discretionary housing payments. And those receiving the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme, it does not discount discretionary housing payments or discretionary facilities grants. So for this council to claim they're already doing this is misleading. It is not doing this, and these stats are from the RBL's website. They are from an FOI request submitted to this council. So if you want to take something to the RBL, Julie, instead of shaking your hand, please feel free, because I'm sure the RBL will be grateful to respond to you. Thank you.
The RBL in vain is you, Fraser, and you've done it darn well.
Councillor Fielding, did you have your hand up earlier? Thank you.
Can we give this a go? Is that okay? Yes. Right. I'm proud to be a member of the Royal British Legion. I'm Vice Chair to the Workshop Branch. I'm one of the 2 pocket fuel organisers for Workshop, and I coordinate branch community support for the County of Nottinghamshire. I'm very much committed to support our armed forces community and our veterans. And to be clear, the Royal British Legion are affiliated to no political party. I work in close partnership with everybody, and their motto is service, not sell. It is disappointing that this motion has been raised. It's not just pushing us an open door, it's entering a room with no door at all. This council upholds the Armed Forces Covenant, and as is mentioned by a previous colleague, is of a gold standard. Such is the close working relationship with the Royal British Legion. Both Retford and Worksop branches were afforded the freedom of Bassetlaw. I, as Armed Forces champion, chair the Veterans Network that meets regularly to ensure that all representatives of the veterans community have the opportunity to discuss and to work together. The Royal British Legion are an integral part of society, an organisation we look to at remembrance, and one that is one of the veterans charities that support and their families. And I would hope that this council would support all their campaigns. This particular campaign has been running, as previously said, since 2023. Those who know me well will understand my commitment to the veterans community, but I support this amendment.
As past chairman of this council, 3 times I've been the chairman of this council, and this council has always supported its veterans and its people that have served our country. We are proud, and I am proud of Bassetlaw Council for what it does, and I am proud that I stand with any veteran in this room or any veteran serving. I always will, and I know that every member of this council works tirelessly to support these people, and especially Councillor Fielding, the amount of hours and work she puts in to support the Royal British Legion, the veterans, and it doesn't matter what flag we fly in this council, we all support our veterans, and work has been done previously to make sure that we carry on, and we're always looking to make improvements. And I will be supporting this motion because the only thing it falls short of that we haven't done is written to this Veterans Minister, which we intend to do. This is saying this in this motion. So please don't think that this council doesn't care for the veterans, because it really does.
Speak well.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Reference has already been made that the Legion of Reform doesn't do its homework. It's becoming a habit. He did the same at Planning Committee last Wednesday, where embarrassingly he hadn't read the paperwork because he spoke to an application that wasn't there. sad thing about that is that the 20 or so residents of his in Clara who depended on him were badly let down by his ignorance. Chair, the Labour Group in this council not only supports veterans across Bassetlaw, it also, look at the makeup of the council, it's a personification of military service. Councillors Eaton and Scotland both served in the British Army, and we have other veterans in our Labour Party who are wanting to become candidates at the next district elections in 2 years. Councillors Richardson and Potts were wives of service personnel, one in the Mercian Regiment and one who served 22 years in the RAF. As wives, they know the anxiety of war and the disruption to a settled family life that they deployed on active service overseas. After his service, Major Eaton ran a cadet corps in workshop in the surrounding villages. Under his leadership, he inducted hundreds of teenagers into the values and standards of military service. In recognition of his work, he was awarded and presented with the British Empire Medal by the late Queen. I first met Councillors Sanders and Dixon at a Help for Heroes fundraising, well before they became councillors. Not only did they raise funds, but they also directly supported veterans who approached for help. And then, finally, there was Councillor Fielding. A lot has been said about Councillor Fielding, and it's noticeable that the only declarations of interest of members of the Royal British Legion were Labour Party members. Not one single Tory, not one single Tory declared an interest. So, she and her husband, himself a prominent Labour Party member, has worked tirelessly for the Royal British Legion. Councillor McFarlane praises the British Legion, he gives them warm words, while Mr and Mrs Fielding give hours and hours of their time to keep the branching workshop alive. Indeed. Yes. Okay. And her service has been recognised by the Legion itself. They awarded her the Reward and Recognition Medal. And the citation on it read, she described her as the driving force that prevented the closure of the workshop branch. And for 15 years she's been loyal to her work. Chair, given these personal links to the armed forces, it is little wonder that BDC's record of work with veterans is as good as it is, and it gives me confidence that going forward there will be continuous improvement in the field. Thank you.
Councillor Presley.
Yeah, I'll go all right on this one. Right. I'll be very brief, Chair. I support the amendment, and I know that yourself, Councillor Fielding, Councillor Potts, Councillor Richardson will always be supportive to veterans, especially Councillor Fielding. My dad was in the First World War at the Somme. He came back, but he was brave. My wife's dad died in Benghazi when he was looking at mines. He was 32-year-old. My granddad died in the First World War at the Somme. And my brother-in-law, who was in the RAF, went to Australia when they set off the atom bomb. And he never recovered from that. So I will always support the veterans. I will always support Bassetlaw District Council. And I say, Chairman, this amendment needs supporting tonight, everybody here, so that we don't do it politically, we do it as a council and as a members of this district council. Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Shaw.
Thank you, Chair.
I just wanted to say that last year, when I was chair of the council, it was a year of celebration for various anniversaries of the veterans, and I was privileged to be a whole suite of events throughout the year, many events across the county, but the ones that I remember the most were the ones that Bassetlaw District Council, along with the Royal British Legion, put on in our local works up in Retford. And the time and commitment from the officers, and I can remember the wonderful fish and chip supper that Jonathan organised with others. And the veterans came and had such a wonderful time and felt really respected. But the other thing about Sybil is around their commitment, her and husband, about the commitment. The times that I went to the Worksop Memorial, where they were putting these beautiful crosses out, hundreds of them, and there was only them two and a couple of other people doing this. In hours and hours were spent, but yeah, they were all handwritten, yeah. But I want to say really that what Councillor Sanders said around the road closures are hugely important going forward, because the privilege I had to come over to Worksop as chair, well actually I always go to Retford, because Retford is where I'm a councillor, and it's absolutely magnificent in Retford, in the square, hundreds and hundreds of people. But to be privileged to come to Worksop as the chair of the council, to see the organisation, Steve Brown and many other people looking in manholes to make sure it's safe for people to walk, but also the pride of the town and the amount of people that were here is unprecedented. And I just want to say about Martin's Law, which is coming, for those of you that don't know about it, it's really important that we get support for road closures and the safety of people accessing the Pride and walking on marches. And it's not a flippant thing to say that we absolutely want support financially. So anybody that has any influence with most of the people at the County Council currently needs to support this, because we do need support and money, because some of these things will not take place if we don't have the funding. So it's not a flippant suggestion that if you're going to do anything, is work on that with your colleagues. Okay.
Councillor Horrocks.
Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to give a bit of thanks to all the veterans that are in the room tonight. Thank you for your service. I've got a family member who's a veteran. My cousin was in the RAF. He did 2 tours of Afghanistan. I've also got several friends through sports that have served the armed forces. I know how important it is to not just honour our veterans, but support them as best we can. I'm on Harworth and Berkhouse Town Council, where we have to discuss how we're going to fund the road closures. So, Councillor McFarlane, you said you raised it to the Conservative Council. I'd like to raise it to the Reform Council, as you're now in that party as well. And I'd like also to raise to them their draconian flag ban, so we can't now fly military flags on our county council buildings because the Reform County Council have banned them. I don't know what the law it is. They've banned any flag that carries a military emblem. They have. You're only allowed to fly the flag of Nottinghamshire, the Union flag, and the St George's Cross, if you'd like to go and have a look. And I just want to say that this amendment It's got my full support, and I'd urge the whole council support it.
We've got Councillor Scott next. Councillor Scott and then...
He can do it.
Right, Chair, thank you for that. To be honest with you, Chair, I wasn't going to speak tonight because it's a very emotional thing for me, being a veteran and a member of the Royal British Legion. But what I do feel tonight is I feel very humbled by, obviously, the support that you've all gave us tonight. And as a veteran, I hope other veterans feel exactly the same here tonight. To have councillors sat down and say what they've said tonight, it's no mean feat. And as a veteran myself, and I hope you the other veterans, we thank you for your support on this motion. And with that, I will be supporting the amendment. Thank you, everybody.
That's the last name that we've got to speak, other than Councillor...
It's Robin.
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 No, we've got Robin as well.
Okay, so Linda first.
Linda, Adams, Harrington, Weil, and then Councillor Lee's reserved the right to speak.
Thank you, Chair. Can Mick Mulban confirm whether the council is currently not providing order discretion listed by the RBL campaign?
Councillor Linda, this is not an opportunity to ask questions, it's an opportunity to speak, it's not an opportunity to question officers.
No.
Councillor Adams and Harrington, Weil will have their hands raised.
Bassetlaw supports veterans in many ways, including the Armed Forces Covenant. Bassetlaw District Council first signed the Armed Forces Covenant in 2013. The Armed Forces Covenant was then signed by all Nottinghamshire councils at a joint ceremony in Southall in 2018. Bassetlaw reaffirmed its commitment to the Covenant by signing it in February 2022. Bassetlaw District Council endeavours in our business dealings to uphold the key principles of the Armed Forces Covenant, which are: no member of the Armed Forces should face disadvantage in the provision of public and commercial services compared to any other citizen. In some circumstances, special treatment may be appropriate, especially for the injured or bereaved. Bassetlaw District Council recognises the value serving personnel, reservists, veterans and military families bring to our business. We will seek to uphold the principles of the Armed Forces Covenant by promoting the fact that we are an armed forces friendly organisation, seeking to support the employment of veterans young and old, striving to support the employment of service spouses and partners, providing a degree of flexibility in granting leave for service spouses, their partners before and during after partners' deployment, supporting our employees who choose to be members of the reserve forces, including accommodating their training and deployment wherever possible, offering support to our local cadet units in our district and encouraging employees to become adult cadet instructors through our leave policy, actively participate in the Armed Forces Day, Remembrance Sunday, and making historical acts of service of those from the district, and to keep under review any commitments Bassetlaw District Council is able to make in the future. The motion before us restates our commitment to members of the armed forces, past and present, and their immediate families, through not exclusively through the Royal British Legion, but also through other trusts and charities. I therefore commend and support the amended motion.
Thank you, Chair. Growing up in Clumber Park and not from a family of a service background, my knowledge of veterans affairs stretched a little beyond Remembrance Sunday for many years. This began to change through my involvement in the church, and then nearly 20 years ago, Councillor Presley's son actually came up with the idea of having a formal remembrance service in Pumber Park. That's been, I've been proud to help organise that for the following 20 years. And we have anywhere between, from about 12 the first time we had it, up to about 100. Depending on the weather, depending on how busy the park is, people simply gather for a short service there. When I was elected to the council, I discovered that service in armed forces was nothing new. Brian Hopkinson, an old member which some people here will remember, was a paratrooper first out of the plane at Suez. And through the work of civil fielding, I decided to join the Royal British Legion. And it was for a simple reason. I don't claim to be brave, I only claim that it was the right thing to do. What I do is very small, what our veterans do is very great. They live with the scars, emotional and physical, for years after their service, regardless if they're in active service or not. I'm proud to support our veterans, as everybody in this room I'm sure is as well. And I don't wish this to become a political ball to be kicked around. It is simply the right thing to do to support the amended motion, which is factually correct and will go the best way to support our veterans. Thank you.
Councillor Richardson.
Thank you, Chair. I grew up in RF Wellington as a child, and I always admired the dedication and commitment of our armed forces, later moving to JCHQ Rhine-Darwen. I understand the passion and the spirit of this motion and the amendment. If backed by members, I'd like to see genuine, further, measurable benefits to provide ongoing support for our veterans. Thank you.
Councillor Lee reserved the right to speak.
Chair, am I the last person to speak? Because I'll sum up as well. Yes, it's up to you, Chair, if you will to vote after this. You've got a point of order, Councillor.
Yeah, under the Constitution, the original proposer, I guess, would like to sum up before this vote on the amendment.
This is on the amendment, though, yet
It says in the Constitution.
which paragraph?
She told me the opposite at the last meeting, whereas I had to sum up the end of the motion. You said if the amendment to carry it, that is the point I'd have to speak on it, and not at the
She
end.
reserved the right to speak when she proposed the amendment.
But she can't write to sum up.
But she's doing it in a right. Councillor Lee, were you speaking for more than 5 minutes?
No, I won't be speaking for more than 5 minutes.
You can do it, it's a right to speak in the same way that any other member has spoken. You won't be speaking again after, so technically it's all in one go. Rose Nolan, Councillor McFarlane.
So, Chair, first of all, thank you to all the public who are here tonight, especially our armed forces, our veterans and their families. As you've heard, all of the councillors here stand with you. This council has a long and proud tradition of supporting our armed forces and our veterans. If you walk into the foyer at Queen's Buildings, what you will see is a signed copy of the Armed Forces Covenant. Then you will see several plaques from the Mercian Regiment and the Royal Artillery Regiment. These have been given to us for a reason, to acknowledge the direct support given by Bassetlaw District Council to those regiments in the Armed Forces community. We know how important our veterans, serving personnel and our families are. We have councillors and staff who have served or have family members in these forces or have been active in military charities. Some of our staff are currently reservists. For several years, this council has had in place a number of the actions that are proposed by the Royal British Legion's campaign. Unfortunately, their website is not up to date and does not reflect the current situation of Bassetlaw District Council. Sadly, Councillor McFarlane, had you spoken with Councillor Fielding, who is our Armed Forces champion, or with any of the officers in Bassetlaw District Council who are on the Covenant team, you would have known this. This means that much of what you are asking for is already done by this council. In relation to the RBL campaign, the council already disregards the War Widows Pension Scheme and the War Disablement Pension Scheme. We go beyond the statutory £10 and we disregard it in full. For council tax support in housing benefits, we also disregard service attributable pensions in full. The War Pension Scheme, Armed Forces Compensation Scheme and service attributable pensions are all disregarded for disabled facilities grants. The discretionary housing payment will be replaced by the Crisis and Resilience Fund in March 26, and that will be administered by the County Council, so it will not be in our remit. I am proposing that officers undertake a review of the feasibility of implementing the disregard for council tax reduction hardship, with a review to making that happen if at all possible. A responsible, fiscally prudent council like ours must collate all of the information and costings prior to finding ways to make this budget process work in the favour of our veterans. Until now, the various political groups represented on Bassetlaw Council have worked jointly to ensure that the needs of veterans, military personnel and their families are championed. I will not engage in party politics on such an important issue as supporting our armed forces and our veterans. Our partnership approach with the Royal British Legion has facilitated the delivery of a range of services and initiatives, and I'll outline some of those. The Ministry of Defence launched the National Armed Forces Military Covenant in June 2011. Bassetlaw was one of the first authorities to prepare a covenant. This was signed at full council in 2012. In addition to what we already do in benefits, the council provides a wide range of other support to the armed forces community. This includes removing the need for a local connection when applying for council housing for veterans. Our housing officers provide a direct link from the Veterans Network to assist in the housing needs of any veteran or serving military personnel. In order to help to disseminate national and local information relevant to veterans, military and their families, a network was established by the council. It is chaired by the Armed Forces Champion and includes representatives from the RBL, SAFA, regimental groups and military charities. A covenant team was set up several years ago to support the work of the Champion and to ensure that awareness of the covenant and the duties placed upon the council are promoted. The team have made successful bids to the Covenant Fund, making a positive difference to our veterans and our military personnel. There are also many ceremonial events that we support, and time prevents me from naming them all, but they range from Remembrance Sunday to many memorials in Bassetlaw celebrating the lives of our veterans, from organising freedom marches for the Sherwood Foresters and the Mercia Regiment, to bestowing the freedom of the district to the two local branches of the RBL, and of course with the British Legion we organise events to mark the 80th anniversary of VE and VJ Day. All of the council's work has led to our recognition under the Defence Employer Recognition Scheme. This is a national scheme encouraging employers to support our armed forces personnel and inspire others to do the same. In August 2022, this council received the prestigious Gold Award for its, and I will quote this, for its outstanding support towards the armed forces community. Anyone who chooses to vote against this amendment will be voting against giving our armed forces community the opportunity of getting more financial benefits. If our motion is agreed tonight, I pledge that I will immediately write to the Chief Executive and the Council's Chief Finance Officer to begin the work. This will then be brought back to full debate when we discuss our budget for next year. Chair, I therefore propose the motion be amended, as has been outlined. And I would like councillors to stand with me for our veterans and our service personnel. Thank you, Chair.
We are now going to vote on the amendment. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? Carried.
The amendment now becomes a substantive motion.
Any comments or observations?
Yes, thanks, Chair. I'd just like to see if colleagues will stand in favour of a recorded vote.
Councillor Bowden, can I check if this is the final vote carried on the motion that's just been amended?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. We'll now move to vote. Councillor Adams. 4. Bowker.
4.
Brand.
4.
Carrington Wild.
4.
Carroll.
4.
Challoner.
4.
Charlesworth.
Absent.
Digby. Dinsdale. Ducey.
4.
Councillor Heaton.
4.
Evans.
4.
Fielding.
4.
Freeman.
4.
Griffin.
4.
Henderson.
4.
Horrocks.
4.
Councillor Lee.
4.
Limber.
4.
Councillor Manners.
4.
Councillor McFarland.
4.
Councillor Debbie Merriweather.
4.
Fraser Merriweather.
4.
Councillor Naylor.
4.
Oxley.
4.
Ashley.
4.
Pidwell.
4.
Hobbs.
4.
Presley.
So 4. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Councillor Hall.
4.
Councillor Richardson, Maddie.
4.
Sam Richardson.
4.
Laura Sanders.
4.
Neil Sanders.
4.
Councillor Schuler.
4.
Councillor Scottbourne.
4.
Councillor Shaw.
4.
Councillor Shepherd.
4.
Councillor Slater.
4.
Councillor Stannard. Councillor Tyndall.
4.
Councillor True.
4.
Thank you.
Councillor White.
Councillor White.
4.
Sorry. Thank you.
Excuse me, that's 40. It's carried. Thank you. I will now call upon Councillor Digby to read the second motion.
Coming with the microphone, Councillor Digby.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good, that works. So, taking inspiration from Councillor McFarland earlier, I shan't read the whole motion, but I would like to say that I propose the motion and I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to speak on this matter. Since being elected in 2023, Section 21 notices have probably one of the most common types of casework that residents have raised with me in East Redford West. A critical issue given rocket boosters following the calamitous mini-budget in 2022. For many of us, this might not seem like a big deal, so I'd like to share with you the experience of some of the residents I've helped. A married couple with young children. The landlord didn't make a complaint about the tenants. There was no unpaid rent, no antisocial behaviour, but the landlord wanted to get them out so he could increase the rent. Private rents elsewhere were sky high, and there was limited council housing within walking distance of their children's school. What's the big deal, you may ask? One of the children has special educational needs. This school was this child's lifeline. Without being able to drive, the parents were terrified. A stress borne by the child who stopped eating or sleeping, And there isn't a parent in here who would have done anything within their power to keep their child at this moment. But that's why Section 21 notice can be so damaging. Through no fault of your own, you can be ripped away from your support system, your nearby family, your lifeline services. So I applaud this government for giving the protections the residents of East Retford West need. And I'm proud that this council will take the steps necessary to support residents when they need help the most. So I ask all councillors to support this motion so that the residents of Bassetlaw know that this council is doing everything it can to keep you in your home.
Councillor Fielding, please.
Having a home that is safe and secure is the right of everyone, and it is the right for those who rent have the same rights as those who own their own property. The Section 21 was a charter for unscrupulous landlords to evict without good reason. The bill going through Parliament will give much needed security to everyone who rents property to make it their home. I'm pleased to commend this motion and second it.
Are there any comments or observations? Councillor McFarlane.
Thank you, Chair. We've got an amendment we'd like to present to this motion.
Chair, my request for a recess while we can look over the amendment, if that's okay.
It's been requested for a 5-minute recess to leave. Please, 5 minutes.
Chair, I rise to move at the time. I propose that we extend the meeting by 30 minutes to 9:30.
All against?
Do you have a second?
Right, in accordance with the Council's constitution, can I ask if members are in agreement with extending the meeting for 30 minutes to 9:30 p.m. to conclude the business on the agenda? All in favour? Against? Abstentions? That's carried. We're going to 9:30.
I can confirm it's a valid amendment.
Are there any comments or observations on Councillor McFarlane?
Not again.
Thank you. I would like to propose the amendment and I will speak on it. So we've been asked tonight to say that this council is proud of this Labour government. Proud, really? If this is pride, I'd like to see what shame looks like. Labour promised growth, stability, a new dawn. What we've got is stagnation, rising taxes and families in Bassetlaw struggling to pay their bills. People are proud. The amendment is removing the word Bassetlaw Council is pride, so it is within the amendment. The Morris officer said it's a correct amendment. Anyway, Bassetlaw, Britain is broken. Let's look at the winter fuel payment. Labour MPs, including Joe White, voted to scrap the winter fuel payment. That's not a reason to be proud of the Labour government. Law and order. Labour told us they would smash the gangs. But what have they done? They've scrapped the Rwanda plan.
Point of order.
Quiet, please. Can we just watch your time, please? Thank you.
If you are raising a point of order, can you please state which section of the Constitution you take issue with?
I don't like the way you talk about
We're here to discuss this motion, which I'm happy to discuss the amendment.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss what the Labour government is doing right or doing wrong.
That is the amendment.
No, the amendment, we just want that bit taken out, not to discuss what we're doing right or
Just
wrong.
ask which part of the amendment.
The first one.
Councillor McFarlane, there's no point of order.
Thank you. Right, I'll go back. We were told Labour would smash the gangs. Instead, they scrapped the Rwanda policy. Illegal crossings have continued. Housing arrivals in Worktop, Retford and our villages, without consultation, without resources. And we all know what Councillor Joe White thinks about stopping the boat. Britain is broken. What are we meant to be proud of? Angela Rayner resigning over £40,000 in unpaid stamp duty, Lord Mandelson's appointment, despite links to the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Chair, I'd like to propose that the question now be put and we can move to the vote. I'm understanding that it was getting late on.
Councillor Malcolm, you've to raise a point of order, you can't move a motion mid-speech.
Right, I'll wait for Jen.
Thank you. For that disruption, I'll start again. Who are we meant to be proud of? Angela Rayner resigning over £40,000 in unpaid tax. Lord Mandelson's appointment despite links to a paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Cabinet Minister's new reshuffle faster than a deck of cards. Integrity and professionalism don't make me laugh. And let's look at improving renters' rights, what we debate. But this isn't it. It's a transparent attempt to turn this council into a cheerleading squad for this failing socialist government. Britain is broken. Let's be clear, this motion asks us to be proud of a government that's failed our economy, abandoned our pensioners, scraps its own policy with every press release, and has representatives who up until tonight don't even turn up to the council meetings. There is nothing to be proud of. Britain is broken, reform will fix it. Thank you.
Somebody point of order at there.
Councillor Sanders.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to stand up. I think Councillor McFarlane is suffering from some kind of amnesia. I think he's forgotten the 4.5 years that he was actually imposed as a so-called Chief of Staff to Brendan Clark Smith. Does he not remember Partygate? Does he not remember the 20-odd billion pounds of wasted PPE? Does he not remember Matt, whatever his cockeyed name is, resigning because he got caught on camera having an affair with his secretary? It's completely and utterly bonkers. And Chair, Councillor McFarlane can stand up, but he has put stuff on Facebook today about my wife. He cannot get any lower than he's got now.
Have you got a point of order?
Well, he's finished now, so isn't it? That's a point of order.
Councillor Limber. Councillor Limber.
Thank you, Chair. I second this amendment because while we all agree renters deserve stronger rights and protection from no-fault evictions, I cannot and will not support wording that claims this council is proud of the Labour government. Over the last 12 months, what has the Labour government really given the people of Bassetlaw to be proud of? And let's be frank, chaos, drift and failure. On the economy, Labour promised stability, but instead families are facing higher taxes, squeezed incomes and broken promises on growth. Businesses in Bassetlaw, small and large, still don't have the clarity they need, and working people are paying the price for economic mismanagement in Westminster. On immigration, we were told that Labour would get a grip, but illegal crossings in the Channel continue, asylum backlogs remain sky high, and communities up and down the country are left to carry the strain while ministers argue amongst themselves. That's not competence, that's not control, and it's certainly not something to be proud of. And let's not forget the scandals and sleaze that have already tainted this Labour government. It's just in a matter of months we've seen MPs under investigations, ministers forced to resign, and endless headlights about the infighting instead of governing. The public were promised higher standards, instead we've had more of the same. Yes, the abolition of Section 21 is welcome, but one policy cannot wash away a year of failure, broken promises and double standards. Renters in Bassetlaw deserve security, but they also deserve honesty from this council. Pretending that this government has earned our pride insults the intelligence of the very people we represent. So, Chair, let's support the principle of protecting tenants, let's commit to playing our part locally, and let's strip out the rose-tinted praise for a government that's given us no reason to be proud. And that's why I second this amendment and urge colleagues to back it. Thank you.
Councillor Barker.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to propose that the question now be put and we move to the vote, if that's able, Chair. Thank you.
Very short question you think there's been sufficient debate on this.
Point to order.
Next 7 to go for a recorded vote, Councillor McFarlane.
Well, that's very one wants to. If they're so proud of the Labour government, let them stand up in defence of it. Obviously, they will.
Sorry, I didn't actually put my hand up before.
Councillor Merrill, whether it's a point for the chair to decide if there's been sufficient debate under Rule 19.
I'll second the vote.
There's been sufficient Councillor Potts, the chair's happy there's been sufficient debate on the matter, so going to move to the vote on the amendment. Yeah.
We're voting on the amendment. All those in favour?
Of the amendment.
Of the amendment. Against? Any abstentions? So it's fallen.
We now move back to the original motion as contained in the council papers.
Proposer, would you like to speak on?
Does Councillor Merriweather wish to speak on the original motion?
Councillor Merriweather?
Just to clarify something, when you actually read the motion, it actually says that Bassetlaw District Council is proud that this Labour government is on the side of renters. It doesn't mention that it's proud of the government and what it's doing, which is why us as independents can support it, because it says it's proud that the Labour government is on the side of renters, which isn't that what we're here for, and is that not what we're voting for?
Thank you, Chair. I understand the banter of party politics, and I wouldn't expect reform to support anything really the Labour government's done. But
tonight there will be families, children, elderly, worried that they are going to lose their home and they will be facing the most enormous stress and pressure. And it is disappointing that the 50% of the Reform group that have bothered to turn up tonight have chosen the opportunity to talk about other things. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Digby, if you like.
Some more.
Is that on? Yes. Lovely. I shall start by saying I'm utterly ashamed of this Reform Party for saying that is removing the lines on the side of renters. That's something that they've actually chosen to do. So I'm so proud that we've passed the maintained as the original motion, keeping it as is, because this council is on the side of renters and always has been. And I'd like to echo the comments that were made by Councillor Carrington-Wilder that at a time when people are really can be at home and scared about what their future maintains, the opposition we were given here was to talk about something entirely separate, not to talk about the real issues that are affecting the residents there who are impacted by Section 21 notices. And I've also just made the remarkable attitude towards government when we've got a party in Parliament right now that has 5 MPs and struggles to keep 5 at any given time. The idea that that party is in any position to lecture anybody on the state of play with the MPs that have done what they've done. Thank you so much for everyone's consideration on this really important matter.
Thank you. We're now going to vote on the original.
Chair, I wish to request a recorded vote.
That's technically got enough people.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. So we're voting on the original motion. Start with Councillor Adams. For. Bowker. For. Brand. For. Carrington-Wilde. For. Carroll. For. Challoner.
For.
Digby. For. Husey.
For.
Eaton.
For. Sorry.
Evans.
For.
Fielding.
For.
Freeman.
For.
Griffin.
Abstain.
Henderson.
For.
Horrocks.
For.
Councillor Lee.
For.
Councillor Lindbergh.
Abstain.
Manners.
Abstain.
McFarland.
Abstain.
Debbie Merriweather.
For.
Fraser Merriweather.
For.
Naylor.
For.
Oxley.
For.
Ashley.
Abstain.
Pidwell. Potts.
For.
Presley.
For.
Polk.
For.
Maddie Richardson.
For.
Simon Richardson.
Abstain.
Laura Sanders. Neil Sanders.
For.
Schuler.
For.
Scoffone.
For.
Shaw.
For.
Shepherd.
For.
Slater. Tyndall.
For.
True.
For.
Councillor White.
For.
Chair, there are a couple of items on the agenda that are time critical tonight. So can I ask you permission to bring forward item 11A and item 13, given that the meeting has to conclude by 9:30 to comply with Rule 30 of the Council Procedure Rules?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, Community Governance Review, and 11B.
That was 33 for and 6 abstentions. So that is carried. Right, as mentioned,
We're going on to 11B next. The next report is Community Governance Review, pages 271 to 302. Are there any comments or observations? Councillor McFarlane?
Is it an amendment to change the recommendation of the report, Councillor McFarlane?
Yes.
Yeah. You can come back to the motion with that, Councillor McFarlane, this is a community governance review, it's not the IRP one, it's 11B. Yeah, that's...
Oh, sorry.
I think I did announce it as 11A, I don't think it was 11B.
Are there any comments or observations on that? Councillor? Councillor?
Thank you, Chair. Just speaking in support of the Parish Council of Beckingham, they'd like to reduce from 11 to 9, which is in line with the National Association of Local Councils. The reduction in councillor numbers will reduce the number of councillors required for the meeting quota needed. And with the current number, this will reduce the risk of the Parish Council not making the quota to hold a meeting. And despite the best efforts of the Parish Council, filling vacant seats has been real difficult. So I support the parish's request for the community governance review and welcome the fact it's been brought to Council. Thank you.
We're now going to the vote. Oh, sorry, Councillor Brown.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This has been to this council before, and I know there should be an interval between times when it can be dealt with. I just want to check that that interval is correct. When it came to the council before, the suggestion was made that Beckingham Parish Council pulled its socks up and made an effort to recruit people to the council. I'm on Liston Parish Council and we have no difficulty. We're the next village, we have no difficulty. So I think there is a problem with what Bassetlaw Beckingham Parish Council is doing or not doing, and nothing's changed since this last came to the council.
The recommendations are set out on page 274. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? Carried. Agenda item number 13 is reports of the head of planning and place. The first report is neighbourhood planning, modifications to and arrangements for a referendum on the adoption of the Babworth neighbourhood plan on pages 323 to 406. Are there any comments or observations?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I'll try and be brief. Attended Babworth Parish Council last night, and they've done an awful lot of work, and I'd like it to be recorded in the minutes. My appreciation. Hello. Yeah, my appreciation to the Parish Council for the work done over a 2-year period. They are slightly disappointed that the inspector didn't take their recommendation on the envelope of the village of Ranby, but nevertheless they support the principle of a neighbourhood plan. They understand the rationale for a local plan, and I think it's a good news story that local parish councils are involved in this. So if that can be recorded, I support what they've done. Thank you, Chair.
Are there any other comments and observations? The recommendations is set out on page 328. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? Carried. And finally, that's what I did. It just feels that way, sorry. The second report is neighbourhood planning, modifications to and arrangements for the referendum of the adoption of the reviewed Elkersley neighbourhood plan, pages 407 to 452. Are there any comments and observations?
The District Council of Welbeck, which includes the Elkersley village, I'd like to voice appreciation for the work members of the Elkersley plan in conjunction with the Parish Council and the superb work that they've done. Also, the exhibitions that the Planning and Place team have made in the Memorial Hall in Elkersley was a really good professional job. So thank you to them as well.
If I can just draw people's attention to the fact that we have officers in the council who readily support the neighbourhood plans. We have 2 neighbourhood plans before us tonight, and I think we really need to congratulate the officers within the council who really go above and beyond. They're here. So a round of applause really for them. Thank you.
Councillor Scotland.
Chair, I'll stand up because I like to see the story things a bit.
Right, Chair, just one. The reports presented tonight, this evening, reaffirm the enduring value and relevance of neighbourhood planning within Bassetlaw, encompassing of both preparation of the plans and the review of the previously adopted. Both plans at Badworth and Elkersley neighbourhood plans are supported by a robust and up-to-date evidence-based, well-comprehensive design code and housing needs assessment, which serves to articulate and safeguard local distinctiveness. The Elkersley neighbourhood plan, originally adopted in 2015 as the first of its kind within the district, has undergone a substantial and thorough review. The revised plan, which uses a number of significant new designations, including landscapes and open space policies aimed at protecting the River Portal Valley, as well as a master plan to guide the redevelopment of 2 garage sites. The Badwood neighbourhood plan, the first to be prepared for the Parish Council, contains a wide-ranging set of policies. Of particular note are the development boundary policy and a residential site allocation, both of which will play a pivotal role in ensuring that the future development within the parish is appropriate, sustainable and in keeping with the character. The plans are the product of genuine and constructive community partnership working. The Council acknowledges the considerable contributions of the Badworth and the Elkersley Planning Group, parish councils and local residents. Special recognitions from officers is to be extended to Councillor Charlie Adams for his active involvement in the review of the Elkersley Neighbourhood Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to put on the record my own thanks to the neighbourhood planning team for the work they've done with my own parishes. The disappointing thing is that the recent spending review, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves cut funding for any future neighbourhood plans, and it is disappointing they've done that. Thank you.
Thank you. The recommendations is set out on page 413. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? That's carried. We now go back to agenda item number 9, referrals. This referral is from Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Draft Overview and Scrutiny Annual Report 2024 to 25, pages 37 to 72 of your agenda. Are there any comments or observations on the report?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to just take this opportunity to commend this Overview Scrutiny Annual Report to Council and urge members to read it if they haven't already. Please note the number and quality of scrutiny activities in the past year, such as the increasingly robust and transparent financial scrutiny and monitoring of the budget process, increased focus on pre-decision scrutiny of cabinet papers, scrutiny reviews that are driving improvement in council services, such as the scrutiny review of the housing voids, the annual scrutiny reviews of BPL leisure contract and community safety partnership. And I'd like to thank all the members of ONS, the scrutiny officers, and all participants involved for their valued contributions during the year. Thank you.
I'll try and keep it long. Chair, thank you for your report, and I said this with wholeheartedness, what I've got to say now. Having reviewed the report, I feel it's important that we formally acknowledge the considerable time, effort and dedication that members have invested throughout the year. The depth of the scrutiny, the quality of the analysts and the collaborated spirit reflected in this work is a testament to your commitment to Bassetlaw and to its communities. It would be remiss not to recognise the value they have added to the decision-making process. Throughout 2024-25, Overview and Scrutiny has reinforced its role in strengthening governance and accountability by providing rigorous pre-decision analysis and ongoing report monitoring. This structured oversight has enabled the Council to benefit from informed challenge and constructive conversation. Some key factors that the Chair has already mentioned. The Task and Finish Group on Houses Voice delivered target recommendations to optimise private property use, reduce void duration and improve the Council's asset management framework. The financial plan, scrutiny enhanced examination of the medium-term financial strategy uncovered opportunities for efficiency savings and boosting the finances for financial resilience. The strategic work programme alignment refined the work programme to mirror the corporate priorities, ensuring that scrutiny actively directed support the Council's overreaching objectives. Cabinet members' engagement. This achieved a marked increase in Cabinet members' attendance at committees, fostering cross-party dialogue and accelerated decision-making process. Looking ahead, I am confident that the Overview and Scrutiny's function will continue to provide strategic insight, shape policy development and uphold the best interests of Bassetlaw and its communities. Its role remains essential in ensuring transparency, accountability and response to local governance. I'm confident I speak for us all when I say how deeply appreciated we are of the committee's commitment and the effort that they put in. Thank you.
The recommendation is that the annual report be received. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? Carried. The second referral, is from the Joint Employee Council Smoke-Free Environment Policy, update pages 73 to 80 of your agenda. Are there any comments or observations on this report?
Sorry, I will be really brief. I'm just really pleased to see this before us, and I applaud the reduction in passive smoking and improving people's health and lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Being Vice Chair of the Joint Employment Council, I really applaud this. It took a lot of time to measure where we could actually go with this. It's not only just for the safety of people smoking, it's also for the safety of people from the council, the workers going outside smoking on the lane. The lane on 100 Acre Lane is very, very busy, and we find workers going out there, the office workers or any staff, and trying to keep them safe from that. But also, smoke-free now, it's in every building you see, and they're always doing it. So we as a committee decided that it wasn't, we had to be up with everyone else and make sure that the place that they want to smoke will be away from the building, it won't be outside the gates for the safety of the officers and everyone else. Thanks, Tim.
Anybody else? The recommendations are set out at page 73 to improve and implement the revised policy. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? That's carried. The third referral is from Cabinet, the Food Safety Enforcement Delivery Plan, pages 81 to 110 of your agenda. Are there any comments or observations on this report?
I'm speaking as someone from a public health background, and that means I know an effective approach when I see one. And I just, Chair, ensure that my compliments to staff all involved in this plan get carried to them. Thank you.
Recommendations are set out at, at page 81 to improve and implement the plan. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? That's carried. The next referral is from Cabinet. The update to sick absence policy and procedure. Pages 111 to 134 of your agenda. Are there any comments or observations on this report? The recommendations are set out at page 111 to improve and implement the revised policy procedure subject to the amended wording agreed at the Joint Employee Council. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? That's carried. Agenda item number 10 is reports of the Chief Executive. Agenda item 10A is revised special leave policy, pages 135 to 152. Are there any comments or observations? The recommendations are set out at page 140 to approve the policy and its implementation. All in favour? Against? Any abstentions? That's carried. Yeah.
Chair, there's two items left on the agenda. It's item number 11A, which is the constitution updates, and there is item number 12, which is the independent remuneration panel. And I do feel that there could be quite a lot of discussion amongst members about the reports that I've brought, and there's less than 20 minutes of this meeting left. We're already in the extra 30 minutes. We can't extend beyond 9:30 to comply with our council procedure rules. What would you like to do? Carry it to an extraordinary meeting.
Yeah, we'll carry those through to the extraordinary meeting. Okay. Now, there's agenda item number 14 is any other business which the chair considers to be urgent. And I can see you're packing your bag anyway. But there is 3 or 4 items. There is no other urgent business tonight. I want to close the meeting, but I want to thank you all for your attendance this meeting. Thank you for everything. Thank you.